Your story is no excuse. I just spent an entire weekend, 2 weekends back to back, with 250 epic fucking men. Amazing men. Men that just were ready to go deep, were ready to confront their fears, to look at their pains, to look at what has really troubled them in their life, to look at who they've been, what they've done, the pain they've inflicted upon others, to look at the fears they hold deep in their hearts, to look at the quote unquote worst things they've done to people, to look at the quote unquote worst things that have been done to them. These have been men that for 3 days each were just ready to put it all out, to let go of the stories, to forget about for a moment their individual pain and look at what the collective story is. And so we have no right to define our lives by limiting stories of the past. We fuck up our present. We destroy our relationships to ourselves, our relationships to those that we love, to those that we care about. We destroy our relationships to the things that really matter in our lives because we get so attached to our stories, and I have no right to be defined by stories that limit us. I ran a number of workshops over the last 2 weekends, and one of them was around support. It was around conscious relationships and understanding ourselves in relationships and understanding what's important in relationships. How can we show up the best version of ourselves? How can we be in relationship and not lose who we truly are? How can we love ourselves fully in relationship and also honor the needs of another? That's not easy to do. Think about that for a moment. Valuing yourself, honoring yourself, and honoring other at the same time. Is it even possible? It is, and it's tough. And how do our voices not get lost in what the needs of others are? Because sometimes we want to please others. We have a conditioning or a wounding around, if I please someone else, if I make someone else more important than me, if I make daddy or mummy more important than me, then they'll love me. And we carry that energy of that into our relationships. And we don't learn how to properly support ourselves and properly support others. And so we support others in this unhealthy way where it becomes people-pleasing, codependent, this icky energy of just attachment. Or we've never even felt support ourselves. We've never allowed anyone to do anything for us because we've grown up thinking, well, we've got to do life on our own. And so many men feel so alone and so isolated. And so they do life on their own. They have no visceral, embodied experience of what it means to be supported. And that's painful. And so when I say you have no right to allow your stories of the past to define you and bring that into your present, what I'm saying is it's time to let the old shit go. It's time to just let it go. Let it be in the past. And these last 2 weekends, these men were ready to let those stories go. Painful stories. Stories of trauma and abuse, intense abuse, projected upon these young boys when they were boys. And them then turning into abusers as adults. And having to let that story go. That's not who they are anymore, and that's not who they choose to be. And it reminded me a lot of my story, my stories, what I experienced in the world growing up, who I was, how I was treated, how I treated others, the physical, the emotional abuse, the volatility, the alcoholism, the fighting, the aggression, the unhealthy family dynamics, the feeling unsafe every day. and how all of that compounded and more caused me, or I allowed it to dictate my life and how I chose to be in relationships with myself and with others. We forget that, yes, the most important relationship is to ourselves. And we learn so much when we allow others in our lives and we allow others to be mirrors of ourselves. We allow others to reflect the best and the worst of ourselves. And we can see that in others, and we can learn and we can grow in relationship to each other. And that to me is empowering. So when we start to let the stories go of the past, because it's a process, right? It's a journey. And we have to start somewhere. And when we let the stories of the past go, we create space for a new story to emerge. A story that's aligned with who we truly wish to be in this world, in this time and space. And that's empowering. And it's also freeing and liberating. And we get to choose that. We get to choose that. But we have to let go of the stories that have previously defined us. I'm not worthy because my dad told me I'm not. I'm not smart enough because my third grade teacher told me I wasn't smart enough. I'll never amount to anything because my parents said I have to do what my father did. We let those stories go in two ways, I believe. We deal with our pain and trauma of the past, and we choose to step into the unknown and simultaneously create our potential, or at least look at it. At least become acquainted with something new. Move into the unknown. And you know what? Both require tremendous fucking amounts of courage. Tremendous amounts of courage. Stepping into the unknown, into the mystery, into the devoid of life. It's not easy. It's also something that men are scared of. Because the void, the mystery, the unknown is the feminine. And that can be confronting. Because then we're confronted with our own inner selves or aspects of that. And we have to hold those frightened parts. And most men, our masculine, our healthy masculine isn't developed. So what can we hold? We can't even hold ourselves. We can't hold ourselves through pain, let alone explore something that's uncomfortable. You have no right to hang on to your stories that are limiting you from being the greatest version of you here and now, for your family, for your children, for your friends, for your colleagues, for your partners, your beloved, yourself, your future self. It's just not fair. And so you get to make a choice. And you may say, well, how? How do I do this? Start with looking in yourself. Start with finding a support group of people that see you, that are non-judgmental on a superficial level, that you trust, respect, and revere, that can support your queries, support your journey, your newness, your curiosity, your exploration, that will support you fully for who you are and see you. Start there. Seek professional help. Feel your feelings, maybe for the first time ever, maybe in a safe way. Read, explore, learn, grow, try new things. Be a greater version of you because you can. I love you.